Welcome to today's deep dive. Okay, so have you ever heard of a regular everyday business just taking over an entire country? I know, right? It sounds totally made up like the plot of a crazy movie, but it actually happened. Today, we're gonna unravel one of history's absolute biggest mysteries.
Seriously, how did a group of ordinary spice traders, literally just guys looking to buy some pepper and cinnamon, end up ruling all of massive India? Well, think of it like a giant Trojan horse. They politely knocked on the front door to do some business, and then slowly but surely, they just changed the locks.
Let's look at the timeline real quick. It's a 300-year chain reaction. In 1526, the mighty Mughal Empire begins. Then, in the 1600s, British traders arrive on the scene. Fast forward to 1757, and these traders actually start winning military battles. And finally, in 1857, the whole thing explodes into a massive rebellion.
Part 1, the wealthy empire. So, to really get this story, we've got to picture what India looked like way before the British even showed up. And spoiler alert, it was an incredibly rich, vibrant place. It was ruled by the Mughals. They were these super powerful rulers from Central Asia who completely united India. You can kind of think of their empire like a really successful family business. Under the early kings, it was super wealthy and very peaceful. But, well, eventually, family members started fighting over who got to be the boss. And because of all that infighting, the empire started to grow weak.
Which brings us to part 2. Traders become the bosses. Right around this time, enter the Europeans. They saw exactly how rich India was, and they absolutely wanted a piece of the action.
Now, the British East India Company's original goal was actually pretty simple. They just wanted to buy spices, cotton, and silk. That's it. But the later reality? Totally different story. They started collecting taxes, commanding their very own armies, and straight up ruling the land. I mean, how on earth did a regular company manage to pull that off?
Well, remember those Mughal kings we talked about, the ones fighting each other? Because they were so distracted, local Indian governors, who were called Nawabs, stepped up and took charge of their own smaller areas. And the British? They realized a clever little secret. It was way easier to defeat these smaller Nawabs one by one rather than taking on a giant united empire. Part 3, taking over the country. This is when the British basically stopped pretending to just be traders. They officially started conquering territory, kicking things off with a massive victory at the Battle of Plassey in 1757.
They even invented these incredibly sneaky new rules just to steal land. Have you ever heard of the doctrine of lapse? Here's how it worked. Step 1. An Indian ruler dies without a son. Step 2. The British declare that the kingdom has quote-unquote lapsed, or basically expired. And step 3, the trading company simply takes the land for themselves. It's like they completely changed the rules of the game while everyone else was already playing.
Which leads us to part 4, the Great Rebellion. So by the year 1857, after years of stolen land and dealing with super heavy taxes, the people of India finally, understandably, reached their breaking point.
To really understand this huge rebellion, we've got to talk about the sepoys. A sepoy was an Indian soldier who was actually hired to fight for the British East India Company's army. Crazy enough, they made up the biggest part of the British army, but they were treated terribly. They were paid badly, and their deep religious traditions were totally disrespected.
So what was the exact spark that caused the whole thing to explode? Well, as the history goes, the problem arose because the cartridges were rumored to be greased with animal fat, violating their religious beliefs. You see, soldiers actually had to bite the tops off these cartridges to load their rifles. So, forced to choose between keeping their jobs and breaking their deep faith, they chose their faith. And they rebelled.
It was this massive, incredibly brave fight, but it unfortunately failed. Why? Well, the Indian leaders just weren't united. On top of that, the British had these deadly, brand-new factory-made weapons, and fresh troops kept arriving by ship from England. And sadly, some local princes actually stepped in to help the British out. After the rebellion was over, the British government officially stepped in, completely fired the East India Company, and just took over India themselves. So the rebellion was crushed, yeah, but it completely destroyed the trading company's power forever. It really makes you wonder, if the British government had to fire the company and take over, did those original spice traders actually win in the end? Think about that for a second. Thanks for joining today's History Breakdown, and we'll see you next time.